It's 5 minutes to 3 o'clock. Now, KwaZulu-Natal suffered tremendously during last month's violence and looting. Businesses were destroyed and lives and jobs were lost. Joining me now to speak on the province's plans to recover, to restore itself, including things like investments, is the Premier of Kwazulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala. Premier, good afternoon. Welcome to the Media View on eNCA. You've had 2 days in Johannesburg, I understand, in Gauteng, and you've been busy talking to several countries, people who are in the investment community. Why did you think it was important for you to address the international community first as part of your plan to recover from last month's violence?
Thanks, and thanks for having us in your program. We started by engaging as the provincial government. We engage with the business community in the province. We engage with civil society and all leaders from the religious, traditional, and we develop a clear perspective. And that perspective is clear. It's based on rebuilding and ensuring that the KwaZulu-Natal rise again. We then felt it was necessary to engage with diplomats to ensure that they understand what happened and how are we recovering from what happened. The unrest left a serious blow, both in the lives of the people, but in the economy. So it is important that we restore the business confidence of both domestic but also foreign businesses.
Did you select these foreign businesses or these embassies by particular criteria? Are those that already have expressed an interest in helping KZN recover, or they are already operating in the province?
Mostly will be those that are operating in the province, but also some are those whom we have engagement that are going on with potential investors who are keen to come and invest in KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay, my understanding is they will be from the western part of the world, they'll be from the eastern part of the world?
They are from all over. You will mention among those your Singapore from Asia, Netherlands from Europe, DRC from Africa. So we had engaged with a number of international diplomats from the world over.
And those countries will be invested, some of them currently, in different sectors of the economy in KwaZulu-Natal. So what has your message been to them? I mean, you've been quite busy since yesterday in Johannesburg. What is the key message you've been taking to them?
Well, our message is clear. The first is that KwaZulu-Natal is open for business. Two, we are addressing the impact of the unrest by improving the capacity of our law enforcement agencies, especially the police. We are leading the program of social cohesion, where we would want to engage with communities and bring the values of Ubuntu and a sense of responsibility, so that people will not vandalize the infrastructure that they will need for the survival of their livelihood. We are also engaging to ensure that the companies that were affected are assisted with some kind of relief. And there is a fund that is managed by the Trade and Investment KwaZulu-Natal to assist those companies that are in distress.
How confident are you from a law enforcement agency that you will get it right? I'm asking this on the back of what's happened historically in Richards Bay, with the minerals investment there, and we've seen that there's been a withdrawal and there's been sometimes opening and closing and people have died. But this violence we saw last month in KwaZulu-Natal, we've never seen before. How confident are you, and how are you reassuring those foreign international bodies that you are talking to that you will make sure there's law and order in KZN?
We are very confident. What transpired is that when the unrest broke out, we lacked proactive approach and response on time. Right now, we've put in place measures that will help us to have rapid response to all situations. But more than that, we are putting more capacity to detect problems and conflict, so that we will mitigate and ensure that we avert those conflicts or resolve them even before they become major and disrupt us.
How have these foreign embassies and entities responded to your words of assurance?
They welcomed us, and we received a warm welcome and commitment.
I was just going to say, are they willing to put the money where their mouths are?
Yes, and some of them are even saying their companies will continue investing in KwaZulu-Natal, and some will even say they will take the drive and the message to their own countries so that they encourage more investment into South Africa and into the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Besides addressing issues of safety and security, what else have they asked you to guarantee them? Because no one wants to invest in a place where their investment won't be safe and secure, but also people are looking forward to a good return. What else have they asked for?
They ask for ease of doing business, which means all regulatory processes must be handled with speed. You will know that some are applying right now to Sastria, the insurance, so that they are able to rebuild their companies. So they want those things to be handled with speed. And we have opened a desk that is dedicated to assist them on a daily basis. So we are saying KwaZulu-Natal is open for business.
Now, in terms of sectors, are you prioritizing particular sectors as you look at restoring the province and ensuring that if you're open for business, the investment comes into the right areas? Because we know this violence plus the pandemic, historically, the numbers of jobless people is very big.
Yes, we are open. KwaZulu-Natal is a diverse economy. But we know that we are emphatic on certain sectors. The first is manufacturing. We are continuously encouraging manufacturing, be it's auto or it's clothing and textile, chemical, pulp and paper. But the second is then the agriculture, which we would want to have more, especially not only on production, but on agro-processing as well. Then the third is the issue of the ocean economy, which largely has been untapped, and we need to do more in terms of the ocean economy. Then finally, it's known that KwaZulu-Natal has various offerings when it comes to tourism. We are going to ignite tourism again and ensure that it grows.
Yeah, and to do so, you have to convince the rest of the world that the people in KwaZulu-Natal have been vaccinated against COVID-19.
That's why we are leading the campaign of vaccination, and people are responding positively, and that will help us to also bring that confidence so that also tourists will flow into KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, when we open up, we will not neglect and ignore the point of COVID. We need to still fight COVID-19.
Yeah. Coming to the governing party, I mean, you are the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, and the question is being asked, what is the governing party doing on its own to make sure that we don't have what happened? Because there are reports that maybe you guys are not as united as it seems from the outside. Is the ANC in the province united behind the provincial government's plans, for example, that you are busy outlining to restore the province?
The ANC is united. In the province, the whole PEC works smoothly. The organization is functioning. Yes, there are concerns about some of the things that are happening. There are members of the ANC who have raised with us the issue they are feeling about how the former president, Comrade Jacob Zuma, has been handled his whole issue. And we have taken that matter with the national leadership, and we are engaging with the national through internal processes of the movement.
So the Jacob Zuma factor is created a lot of tension then within the provincial party. How best do you think you'll be able to recover from this? Because just listening to the president of the party, who's the head of state as well, at the State Capture Commission, admitting to so many things that have gone wrong, one is just wondering, in an important province like KwaZulu-Natal, How best do you think you'll be able to unite and make sure that everybody, so to speak, is singing from the same hymn sheet?
Well, I think the most important thing that needs to be addressed, if we are to be solid, is an understanding that those who will speak in support of former President Zuma, they are not speaking because they are opposed to the current president. The two are not competing for anything. One is the former, the current is President Ramaphosa. He must enjoy the full support of the ANC and the entire membership. But there will be times where Comrade Jacob Zuma, as a leader and a former president, will need also to be supported. And we must always master that the support of the former president does not mean you are against the president of the ANC. So there are those who will not understand that, and we do need to educate the members around those issues.
I was about to say, how do you manage that? Because it can come from a perception from members and other people who are watching out to say, from the outside to say the ANC is divided because of Zuma.
We have to manage that through educating the members of the ANC. The ANC has policies. It has principles that guide. Once the leader in the ANC is elected, all leaders must unite around that elected leader and support him or her to succeed.
So does KZN support the current leader of the ANC?
The ANC in KwaZulu-Natal fully support President Ramaphosa. And that does not mean if you support President Ramaphosa, you don't support former president, because the two are not competing for anything. They are the predecessor and the one who is current and serving. So they need our support. But we must understand that the president is President Ramaphosa. On challenges that comes and emerge from time to time facing former president, as the ANC members, we support him on those specific issues.
So you did not anticipate that after some members had gathered outside eNCA to support the former president, which, as you say, is within their right, that it could turn this ugly. I mean, you didn't anticipate that. How are you as the ANC now today working to make sure that you are able to have the finger on the pulse, so to speak, so when your members take that action and threaten unrest, as we saw, that it doesn't happen again?
Yes, that's why we are saying we're building a strong leadership on the ground who will be able to address issues, not to refer issues to others, but leaders where they are must be able to address issues. If they need support from higher structures, they should call for support urgently. And all of us must have a sense of urgency in dealing with issues. So that is the approach. But secondly, we want to build social cohesion where all people live and accept that they have to coexist, accept each other, and all racial groups be integrated and live together.
Do you think Phoenix will be resolved? Do you think Phoenix will be resolved?
Indeed, Phoenix has to be resolved, and it will be resolved. What we saw there was very bad, and it is for what it is. It's Phoenix massacre, and we need to heal from that. We are not going to be stuck on racial tensions. We need to ensure that we build a truly non-racial society. And Phoenix, it's one of those areas which needs to be attended to with full attention so that the communities are integrated.
Are community leaders there cooperating? Because I know there's been so many meetings. You yourself has been there on the ground, and other leaders of the ANC and police and government officials. Community leaders themselves across, because it's a largely poor community.
Indeed. Community leaders are cooperating. They are part of the process. Through MEC Moyane and Minister Sihle, we establish the peace committees. And these peace committees are composed of all sides, and they are working. They are also working under the leadership of the Provincial Moral Regeneration and Social Cohesion Council. And we are there as the provincial leadership to support all of their effort and guide them.
Yeah, just a human interest one, but for me it picks a bigger picture. There are some people who've been interviewed on eNCA and other media to say, I want to leave KZN, I don't think I'm safe, and some of them are of Indian origin. If some of them or your families were watching us now, what would your message be if there's an Indian South African in KwaZulu-Natal who says, no, I think I must now move to Gauteng or Limpopo because KZN is not for Indians?
No, KwaZulu-Natal is open for all. It is a home for all people. It is a home for all Africans, white, Indian community, and colored community. KwaZulu-Natal is hard at work to transform itself into a peaceful province. But we are also hard at work ensuring economic growth and distribution because we would want to deal with the issue of poverty and unemployment. We would want to see the integration of many people, especially blacks and Africans in particular, into the mainstream economy.
Hope you succeed in that, Premier. I know you are on your way back to Durban. Thanks for your time. But just one last one. It just occurred to me as you were answering now, with all these issues that need to be addressed, which one gives you the most sleepless night?
The first is the issue of unemployment. We need to address unemployment as quick as possible. Secondly, we need to address the violent behavior in our communities. And we need to ensure that we deal with that violent behavior and crime so that everyone feels safe in the province.
Thank you very much. Premier Sihle Zikalala of KwaZulu-Natal talking to us here on eNCA DSTV Channel 43.